My dear brothers and sisters, Oriire Funowo, good tidings to you. Itesi Waju Ati Iso Khan, progress and peace. I pray that you are feeling awake, aware, and elevated in mind, body, and spirit, wherever you are, and whatever may be happening around you. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Homage to the one who sends and to those who are sent. Homage to Orisa and Egun. Our Odu Ifa, Obara Oshe'e, the 181st Odu, gives us guidance for strength, for progress, especially those of us who have suffered under the sledgehammer of white supremacy, racism. I quote Aboru Aboye. They said, "Where is my father?" I said, "My father is dead." "Where is my mother?" I said, "My mother is in the vault, speaking loudly." They asked, "Whose son are you?" I said, "I am the son of Obara Oshe'e, who brushed aside the rulers. I was severely beaten and buffeted here and there, freely as the goats eat. The son of Obara Oshe'e never suffers. Obara Oshe'e, do not allow your son to suffer needlessly. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo." Whenever I read this Sacred Odu, this essay, I always think about us, my African American brothers and sisters, and my African brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. Any of us and all of us who have suffered under the sledgehammer of white supremacy racism. This Odu always makes me to know that and reminds me that we have spiritual power behind us, even though we have gone through an extensive period of suffering. Suffering is not the only reason that we're here. We're here to learn, to grow, and to succeed over our enemies. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. So let us proceed with our lesson for today. Today is Oshe Ifa, and the 28th of December. And you will probably get this video on Oshe Ifa, on January the 1st. So I'm making this tape, getting it ready for publication on Oshe Ifa. I'm Baba Umar, Oluranse Emese, voice of the MSA, member of the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs in Ile-Ife, Nigeria, Oluwo of the House of Umar, and Babalao of Ile-Ife, Orisa, the House of the Mysteries of the Orisa. Our topic for this video is the 16 Truths of Ifa. Truth 9, we must never initiate harm to another human being. If you're new to these video lessons, we invite you to go ahead and click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons, and share this resource with your family, friends, and associates. You'll be helping us, our online Egbe community, to grow, and you never know whose life you may change by that simple act of sharing the wisdom of Ifa. Opo Ire, abundant blessings to our Egbe, our online community of subscribers that continues to grow thanks to you. Thank you for joining us for another lesson and for clicking that like button. Remember, as a member of our YouTube Egbe, you can support each other's spiritual journey by posting your questions and uplifting comments in the comment section below. You can also email me using the link in the description section below if you need to contact me on a more personal matter for consultation or divination. Also check the community section of the channel for periodic messages, the monthly Ita Dogun reading that I publish, and additional Ifa lessons. And remember, clicking that like button is your way of communicating with the YouTube algorithms so that you can help us to grow this channel and bring this truth, this wisdom to more people. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Let's dive in. There are many calendars in use around the world. The Hijri calendar, the Iranian Muslim calendar, the Buddhist calendar, the Chinese calendar, the Yoruba Ifa calendar, to cite just a few. This is December 2024 as I'm finishing up my editing and getting ready to publish this next video lesson. By the time you view this lesson, we'll be in the new calendar year 2025 according to the Gregorian calendar. Today, the Gregorian calendar is the internationally accepted civil calendar and is also known as the Western or Christian calendar. But it doesn't really matter what calendar we're using, or what decade or year or month or week or day, hour, minute, moment it is, does it? Does it? The only thing that matters are the choices that you and I make in each of those moments, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, and decades to come. Choice. Yiyan. That's what we're here doing in the Loja. We're here making choices. And all the calendars are doing is providing a framework for us to position our choices on a horizontal timeline. That means choices you made in the past, choices you're making at the present moment, and choices you're planning on making at some point in the future. There are two timelines on the axis of time. There's the horizontal timeline and the vertical timeline. The vertical timeline represents now, the eternal now, which is the only moment in which we, you and I, can exercise our power to choose. And that's what it's all about. You made choices in the past that led to iato, contrast, ikoko, contraction, and iapa, friction. You made choices in the past that led to isopo, connection, connectivity, belonging. And you made choices in the past that fueled itelo, iparada, expansion, growth, and transformation. You and I have made and are making those choices individually and collectively. And we see around, what we see around us is an expression, the result, the consequences of all of those individual and collective choices we've made up until this moment. Now, many, if not most of us, are displeased with much of what we see, the consequences of our past choices. But it doesn't have to stay that way, because we still have Yiyan Ashe, the power to choose. You and I have the power to alter our future by changing the choices we make on the vertical timeline now. Hence the Ifa saying, Baoku isha'ro. Where there is life, or when there is life, there is still hope. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. That's what makes these lessons so potentially valuable to you. One piece of wisdom that you receive from these lessons may help you to make a different choice that may send your life in a whole new direction, one more in line with your chosen destiny. Let's use our imagination to make this point clearer. In this moment, you can choose to imagine adopting the 9th truth of Ifa as a guiding principle, a core value in your life. We must never initiate harm to another human being. How does that thought make you feel? Now imagine for a moment that everyone else on the planet did the same thing, not just imagining it, but also making it a part of their essential identity. Imagine for a moment that every person on the planet adopted that guiding principle for all human social interactions in politics, in healthcare, education, domestic and family life, business, religion, etc. How does that thought make you feel? Imagine what it would be like to live in peaceful space, in the good condition. Oh, forget about judging whether such a thing is possible. Forget about trying to figure out how to get the whole world to agree to it. Because all that is important in your world is that you do it. In the moment that you make that choice, your world changes because your isha'ro, your energy signature, changes. And as we've discussed in our past lessons, since everything in creation is an expression of the same energy, Ashe, and quantum entanglement has been scientifically proven, then the universal law of Isoro, connectivity, is a fact and supports the 8th truth of Ifa. We are part of the universe, the multiverse, in a literal, not just figurative way. The 16 truths of Ifa create a fabric that shelters the devotees and the adherents from the pitfalls, obstacles, and challenges of the Loja. When you shift your isha'ro, your energy signature, vibration, and frequency, you shift what you attract into your and our world. Remember, as we've shared throughout this series of lessons, we are spiritual beings having an experience of embodiment. We are a tangible, visible form of a sentient, energetic entity. That is beyond any sense of limitation. We are, in fact, the creators of worlds and realities. Ashe. So as we begin counting the days, weeks, and months of the year 2025 and the decades to unfold, let us not forget all those moments in which we are making choices that will have an impact on multiple lives, for better or for worse. I am writing my first draft of the script for this video lesson a week or so after the 2024 presidential elections. So the implication of what I'm saying here should be very clear to you. And if it's not clear, I can just about guarantee that it will become clearer as the consequences of your and my individual choice, our collective choices, comes to fruition. There were choices that we made in this last election. When those choices become manifest, the consequence of those choices become manifest, we will all recognize exactly what's being implied in this lesson. As I contemplated this lesson, I thought about sharing some statistics about all of the madness and sadness going on in the world, around the world. But I'm glad I decided not to add to the negativity, negativity, and negative energy by bringing it here into this lesson. You see what's going on in your homes, neighborhoods, cities, across the country, etc., around the world. This lesson is about the power of our choices and about uplifting our spirits. It's about your and my ability to be and responsibility to leave the world a better place by virtue of our having been here. It's about doing our part to bring about the good condition for every human being. That's what we're talking about here. Some of you may be inspired to make large-scale, highly visible changes because of your Oriire calls you to that journey. Great. But it's not about the magnitude or scope of the change that you bring to the world. It's about the vibrational quality of what you resonate to the world and to the multiverse. Remember one of our first lessons, bit by bit? We're striving for progress, not perfection. If you focus on making daily progress, you will eventually reach the point of perfection that you're seeking. Ashe, ashe, ashe. My African American brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora, we have been smacked around left and right, up and down. We've been misused and abused for centuries. In Olofi-dumare, we're given guidance as to how to conduct ourselves in the world, how we should move in the world, the things that we should avoid doing so that we can circumvent much of the drama and trauma that has been sent in our direction and is yet to come in our direction. Aboru aboye. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Bioba te itatan. Kiotun iye rete. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo. Mafie ja igba gunope. Iwori teju me ohun tenseni. Awo. Mafi aimowe wo odo. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo. Mofi ibinu. Yo obe. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo. Moji kanju jeye. Jaye. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo. Mofi waram ola. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo. Maseke sodale. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo mapuro jaye. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo mase igbe raga sagba. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo moso iretinu. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo masan bante awo. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Awo bioba te fatan. Kiotun iye reteo. Iwori teju mo ohun tenseni. Ashe, ashe, asheo. Pure guidance, pure truth. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. If you undergo Ifa initiation, endeavor to use your wisdom and intelligence. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not use a broken rope to climb a palm tree. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not enter into the river without knowing how to swim. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not draw a knife in anger. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not be in haste to enjoy your life. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not be in a hurry to acquire wealth. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not lie, do not be treacherous. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not deceive in order to enjoy your life. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not be arrogant to elders. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not lose hope. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, do not make love to your colleague's spouse. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Awo, when you have been given Ifa initiation, initiate yourself again using your wisdom and intelligence. Iwori, take a critical look at what affects you. Ashe, ashe, asheo. Iwori Meiji, the third Odu in the Sacred Order of Orunmila. Truth 9 of the Ifa Corpus applies not only to physical harm, but also mental, emotional, social, financial, or any other form of harm or hardship. Do no harm. And this not only applies to actions that you might take through physical agency, but also to actions you might take through spiritual and metaphysical pathways. This means you should not wish, pray for, conjure, or will any form of harm to be visited upon another person. If indeed we have the power to move the Ashe, and we do, to bend reality, then certainly it is better to wish, pray for, conjure, and will that our enemies or tormentors have a revelation of consciousness or a change of heart rather than to wish harm on them. Wishing harm on someone else only lowers our vibration. We become more like them. So we want to take the moral high ground, the energetic high ground, a higher vibration when we act in the world. We choose to let in Ifa, in this consciousness, we choose to let Olofi-dumare and Oriire be the judges of what harm is whether or not harm is the only way to deal with a soul in violation of righteous behavior. This is not to say that we sit passively by in the face of a clear threat to our life and well-being. No. But even then, we would not be the one to initiate harm, and our Oriire will certainly be guiding us in the process of responding to whatever it is. In Ifa, we trust that the Orisha will protect their own. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. It's difficult for some of us to believe or conceive of the mysteries that our ancestors brought from behind the veil. The religious world has cast a dark shadow over many of the practices of our ancestors, and much has been lost because of our experiences in the context of the Western world and because of the doctrine and practices of white supremacy, racism. Many of us have forgotten that we have the power to affect the world, for better and or for worse, through our powerful spiritual methodologies and our innate potentials, our Ogunibi, our birthright. Changes are taking place in the world. We're moving from the third through the fourth into the fifth stage of creation. We've talked about this. Review those lessons. This series of lessons that we're dealing with now, the 16 Truths of Ifa, we're going to continue this into 2025 for a few months to complete the 16 truths. And then we're going to move into additional material dealing more specifically with the Sacred Odu, the Odu Ifa. We're going to take certain Odus and break them down, get into them, see how they apply for us in that particular month that we're doing that particular lesson. For now, broaden your thinking. Experience Italo, consciousness expansion, as I invite you to consider Truth 10 of Ifa. You must never harm the universe of which you are a part. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Ki Olofi-dumare Orisha ate egun fifune ni itona imoye ati Oriire. May Olofi-dumare Orisha and Egun bestow on you guidance, wisdom, and abundant blessings. Ifo kanbale, peace of mind from Olofi-dumare. Alafia ate Ife, peace and love. Ajolo, Ajobo, we go out together, we return together. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Don't forget, please click that like button for us to help expand our channel in 2025. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.